Diabetes is a condition where we cannot control the glucose level, or in normal terms we say the sugar level. If you are over 40 or 45, then there is a high chance of you to get diabetes, but at the same time we see diabetes in young children as well. We have like at least 20% of the population has diabetes at the moment, so that is every 1 of 5 is a diabetic. One of the main risk factors is genetics. Nowadays we see a lot of people get diabetes, or we say acquire diabetes, even if it is not there in the generation, but still genetics is one of the main risk factors. Then stress, smoking, milk powder, like consuming milk powder, that is also one of the main risk factors or causes of diabetes. So these are some of the risk factors of diabetes. So one of the best things you can do is have a walk for at least 30 minutes per day and do some exercises. Then control your food, stop eating junk food, especially junk. You have to stop eating junk food. Then milk powder you have to stop, and then you have to reduce the sugar intake as well.
Hello everyone, welcome to Voice of Siyosip YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss about diabetes, which is affecting many people in Sri Lanka, and there are over 400 millions of diabetics in this world. It is a scary situation. So we invited Dr. Tarindo Fernando to our discussion. Warmly welcome, Doctor.
Thank you.
I will be asking some of the questions about diabetes. The first question is about, Doctor, what is the diabetes?
Yeah, diabetes is a condition where we cannot control the glucose level, or in normal terms we say the sugar level in our blood. So normally the glucose is produced by the food what we eat. It is transported into the cells, and there is a specific hormone which is called insulin. Insulin helps our cells of the body to intake glucose from the blood, but when it doesn't work properly, and when the cells cannot take glucose into the cells because either lack of insulin or insulin is not working properly, then it will be accumulated in our blood. So this condition is called diabetes.
Okay, well, diabetes affects children as well as adults. Doctor, doesn't age affect the disease?
Yeah, age is one of the risk factors. Now we say if you are over 40 or 45, then there is a high chance of you to get diabetes, but at the same time we see diabetes in young children as well. So there is a risk for everyone, like almost everyone, especially if you are in a country like Sri Lanka. Now we have like at least 20% of the population has diabetes at the moment, so that is every 1 of 5 is a diabetic. So if there are 5 members in your family, 1 of them may be a diabetic. So mostly adults get it, but then there is a chance for children also to get diabetes.
Okay, another question is about, can the diabetes be passed from generation to generation? That means from parents to children?
Yes, of course it can. Now one of the main risk factors is genetics. Nowadays we see a lot of people get diabetes, or we say acquire diabetes, even if it is not there in the generation, but still genetics is one of the main risk factors. There are various factors other than that, like obesity or sedentary lifestyle, then lack of exercises, bad food habits, that is one of the main causes, then stress, smoking, milk powder, like consuming milk powder, that is also one of the main risk factors or causes of diabetes. So these are some of the risk factors of diabetes.
Doctor, I have a problem. Now I am 17 years old. I am not diabetic yet, but my father was a diabetic. So, doctor, am I likely to become a diabetic?
Okay, now in iridology, what I do is I look at the iris of the person. So I see a lot of irises of children, and then we can tell whether you are more prone to get diabetes or not by looking at the iris, because the iris works as the blueprint of the whole body. So if you get a iris analysis test done, then I can tell you exactly. But since your father is having it, so that means it's in your genetics, so there are chances of you to get diabetes.
Okay.
But it doesn't say that you will definitely get it. No, even if it is in the generation, if you be careful, or if you you can prevent diabetes actually.
Okay, thank you, doctor. Doctor, how do you first find out if someone has diabetes? What are the physical changes?
Yeah, our body is intelligent. The body can tell, okay, there's something wrong going on in your body. So the only problem is most of the people are not aware of it, and they don't pay attention to these tiny factors which the body indicates. But in diabetes, mostly we will get to know that by frequent urination, a person who is getting diabetes, okay, he has to go to the washroom always. That is one of the signs. Then lethargy, they feel always tired and lethargic, and then sudden loss of weight without any reason. If you are losing weight all of a sudden, and then if you are feeling thirsty all the time, or if you are feeling hungry all the time, and if there are mood swings, like sometimes you be very happy, then all of a sudden you go crazy, like you become sad or angry. If there are sudden mood changes, okay, that also can be an indicator of diabetes. Then itchiness of the body, itching, and then muscle cramps, those are the things. Then blurred vision, your vision becomes blurred. Sometimes you need to change your spectacles always, like, because it keeps on changing. So these are some of the signs which tells that you are developing this disease in your body.
Yes, I think that is very important to us because we can identify this disease. Doctor, what is the treatment we can do at home after we first diagnose diabetes, and what kind of treatment should parents do if a small child suffer from this disease?
Okay, now identifying the disease, like I said earlier, those signs actually tell that you have the disease, okay, but you have to definitely go and get a test done. There are various kinds of blood tests to confirm whether you are having diabetes or not. Once you are confirmed that, okay, you have diabetes, then there are various kinds of treatments. One of the best things you can do is have a walk for at least 30 minutes per day and do some exercises. Then control your food, stop eating junk food, especially junk. You have to stop eating junk food. Then milk powder you have to stop, and then you have to reduce the sugar intake as well, starch intake as well. Especially refined wheat is not good, right? Always try to eat like the whole meal bread or anything, then the rice or things made with rice flour. And you can eat a lot of vegetables. Vegetables are good. There are specific vegetables which you should avoid according to the individual situation. We cannot exactly tell this treatment is good for this person, for everyone, because depending on the person, the treatment varies. So I cannot take 10 people with diabetes and tell, okay, all of you follow these instructions. No, because in each individual it can differ. For some, eating bitter gourd will control diabetes, but for another one it will not control. For one person, doing regular exercises alone will control diabetes, but for another one it will not happen. So depending on your health status, depending on your constitution, we say, it differs. Now if a diabetic comes to me, the first thing I do is I check the intestines. the digestive tract. We can do that by looking at the iris in iridology. So first of all, we have to take care of the digestive tract, and if there are any issues, most probably if diabetics, they have a lot of issues in the digestive tract, so we have to solve those problems first, otherwise no treatment will work properly. Then there are various kinds of treatment methods like acupuncture, sujok, then Ayurvedic medicine and all. And if the person does not, if the person finds it difficult, or if because the time consuming treatments these are, they can easily go for Western medicine, which I normally don't recommend. But it is very easy because you just have to take a pill and it will control your sugar levels. But if you can control your sugar levels with food and exercise and all, that is the best way to do.
Doctor, are there any special foods that a diabetic should take?
That also, again, I would say we cannot tell these are good for all the diabetics, but generally speaking, bitter gourd, then star fruits, then ranavara, those are good to keep your sugar level controlled, but not for everyone. For some, if you eat too much bitter gourd, it can put your sugar levels way down and can lead it into a very dangerous situation, because now diabetes is dangerous, but suddenly if your sugar levels or the glucose levels go down, way down than normal, then it is more dangerous than that. So if you are taking these kinds of food, you have to be careful not to overtake them, and you have to monitor, because for each individual it will vary. Eating green leaves is very good for diabetics, so for most of my patients I recommend them to eat at least one time green leaves, at least one time with one meal per day. But diabetes can affect the kidneys and eyes, heart and all. If your kidneys are affected, sometimes we tell not to eat green leaves. So like I said, there's no such treatment for all which suits all. So depending on each individual's digestive tract and the kidneys and the constitution, the treatment and the food, exercise, everything varies. So the best thing is to consult your doctor, go to a proper health practitioner and get your specific way, your treatment plan individually.
Doctor, is ripe banana, jaggery, white rice good for diabetes?
I cannot say no, I cannot say yes either. So you can eat bananas, but not too ripe. Now all the fruits you have to eat when there is a sourness in the fruit. So even for a healthy person, that is the ideal stage, which you have to eat fruits when there is a sourness. Sourness indicates vitamin C. So if it is too ripe and if it is sweet only, then there's no, the uses of the fruit is very less, because most of the nutrients and everything has turned into sugars, right? But it doesn't mean that it's not good. So if you are the diabetic and if you are eating fruits, you have to eat before it's totally matured, right? And even white rice you can eat a little. Always eat a lot of vegetables. Now when we talk about the meals of the diabetes, we have something called the diabetic plate. So if you take a whole plate, half of it should be vegetables, non-starchy vegetables like green leaves and all. Then quarter of it should be carbohydrates. Then you can add rice. The best rice to eat is traditional rice like suandal, or there are a lot of varieties like pacha perumal, or what you call kurulutuda. There are a lot of traditional rice varieties in Sri Lanka, which is very good for diabetics. If not, you can eat just white rice or red rice, but quarter of your plate only. Then the other quarter you can include some meat, proteins, eggs and all. So half of it should be non-starchy vegetables.
Doctor, there is a very important question. Should a diabetic definitely get treatment from a doctor? Can't they prevent this disease by themselves?
Okay, they can prevent the disease by themselves, but they cannot, preventing means before you get the disease. But if you already got the disease, then treating it by themselves is not advisable. you have to have a professional health practitioner monitoring you, right? I don't tell that everyone should take medicines. No, you can control your sugar levels, or you can cure diabetes with exercise, with food, and with traditional medicine. But definitely you have to have a health practitioner monitoring you and your sugar levels. Don't go and do it alone.
Diabetes is very dangerous disease. We know about that. But I want to explain from you, doctor, what happens if diabetes is not managed well?
Okay, it can lead to almost all the diseases in the body. Like someone can go blind, totally blind. I have seen people who has gone totally blind due to diabetes, if diabetes is not controlled, or if the duration is long. Sometimes even if you control diabetes, if you have been having it for like more than 15-20 years, then there is a chance for you to get blind. So that's why I always tell, if you have diabetes and if you are having diabetes for more than like 3-4 years, always visit a proper health practitioner, especially to check the eyes and the kidneys. And when they check the eyes, they will look inside the eye, the blood vessels, the retina and everything, and to see whether there are any leakages of blood or lipids inside the retina. Right? If you just go to a normal eye care practitioner, it doesn't help. You have to go to a proper place where they enlarge your pupil and look inside the eye, check inside the eye, the retina and all. And then it can lead to heart attacks, it can lead to strokes, kidney failures, it can lead to many other diseases. Like sometimes you may have seen that due to poor circulation, you have to remove the legs, right? And then sometimes you may have seen sudden strokes and heart attacks occurs due to diabetes. So it is not a thing that you have to take easily. It is a very dangerous thing. Even though if everyone is having these days, like 1 in 5 people are having diabetes, it can become very dangerous for some people.
Okay. Really, thank you so much, doctor, for telling us about diabetes. Doctor, how can you contact if someone needs advice from you?
Okay, you can call me on 0707 268 that is the number for voice calls, or you can WhatsApp me on 0777 268 that is for WhatsApp. And even on Facebook you can get connected with me. My name is Tavindu Fernando. You can get connected with me over Facebook as well.
Yes, you can contact the doctor and you can tell your problems to the doctor. So we came to the end of our discussion. Thank you so much, doctor, for your advice.
You are welcome.
We know doctors are very busy person, but he gave his valuable time for us. So doctor, thank you so much.
Welcome.
Okay, today we discussed about the healthcare issue of diabetes. To see such a valuable video, do not forget to subscribe our YouTube channel. Let's meet again such a valuable program. Then have a nice day. Goodbye.